Hello everyone. Today I have Ritvi Mishra with me. Hi Ritvi. We welcome you on Scholarship Track platform.
Hi everyone, super honored to be here today. Thank you, Mansi, for inviting me.
Okay. Ritvi, tell us about yourself.
So, hi everyone. Among other selves, I mainly identify as a maker. So, what I mean when I say I'm a maker is I love making things, right? So, when it comes from craft to engineering to mixing things up, that's kind of my niche, right? And I am from Cummins College of Engineering. I am majoring in electronics and telecommunication. I have an extensive background in IoT and embedded systems. But I am super passionate about building communities, and hence I had a run in with Mansi on LinkedIn, and here I am.
Yeah, great. Okay. Let us tell about what is MLH Coach Program. What is this program all about? We all have heard about MLH Fellowship, but we have heard less about this MLH Coach Program.
Sure. So the MLH Coach Program is a wonderful program with a set of people that you grow every minute that you interact with, right? So MLH has a very focused vision, that they work towards and they highlight in every event of this, which is learn, build, and share, right? These are the three main values that their entire organization runs on. And us coaches, when we represent MLH, we literally embody these three values in some way or another and are always emulating these values. So the line for coaches is, if we have to, we take out the trash. So in a hackathon basically, or in any community event that we represent MLH, we do anything and everything to make it a better experience for the hacker. If it means taking out the trash, if it means mentoring technically, if it means mediating some conversations, so be it. We're there to make sure everyone has a safe and a beautiful experience, and everyone takes away something from the experience basically.
Okay. So this is all about MLH Coach Program. What is the eligibility criteria for this program? Who can apply for this?
So, this program, you don't have to be a hackathon veteran to apply to this program, right? So, this program is mainly for anyone who's very passionate about building safe and inclusive communities. And of course, people who, emulate or, exemplify the entire learn, build, share values that MLH stands for. So, yeah, and MLH really focuses on, talking and networking. So, yeah, that's the only eligibility criteria, that you should be passionate about communities and building inclusive and uh, safe communities.
Okay, so anyone, irrespective of branch and year, can apply.
Absolutely. Well, they of course prefer students applying, but even early professionals are welcome.
Okay, cool. Can you tell us, what is the application procedure and how many number of rounds are there for the selection?
Sure. So, the application procedure is a very simple, straightforward application that you can find on their website. So, careers.mlh.io is where you'll see all the listings. There in the part time section, there is the coach program. You go ahead, you apply, you fill in your resume, the basic details of applying to any company. The next is an automated reply in which you're asked to fill out a questionnaire, and you have a span of 10 days to fill out the questionnaire. The questionnaire basically tries to understand your experience as a community member. You don't necessarily have to be a leading in a leading position or having led something. It's just about, if you've ever mediated a conversation, if you've made a mistake, and if you really learn from your experiences, basically that's the main goal of the essay section of the application. Once you fill it up and send it through, then there are the interviews. The number of interviews vary from person to person, and of course depending on the availability of their staff and your timing. And since there's always the time zone confusion, right? There's a lot of
Yeah.
coordination on both our ends that requires, when you're scheduling an interview. So that's there. But apart from that, it's a pretty simple, it's a very friendly process. They'll, in every interview, they'll make sure that you're comfortable, that you're good to go. And yeah, it's a very friendly process basically. And again, like I said, the number of rounds after the questionnaire vary from person to person.
Okay, so what they generally ask in the interviews?
Again, so this is very situational because they want you to learn on the job, right? When you're interacting with so many communities, especially on a global level, since everything's gone digital at the moment, uh, you have to learn on the job. They don't expect you to know everything. What they do want to know is how much you can learn in an experience. So they'll basically ask you a couple of questions, and then there'll be a round of where they'll ask you your wells and improves. This is true for anything you do in MLH, right? All your training programs and anything you do, in the end, we'll all come together and we'll discuss the wells and improves. Basically, what you did well, what you think you did well, and it does not have to, of course, there's no correct and there's no wrong, and what you can improve. And then that comes from both the sides. So let's say if I ask Mansi the question, she answers, then I'll ask her what she thinks are her wells and improves, and I'll give my feedback as well. And you're more than welcome to clarify if you think that the interpretation is wrong.
Okay, so Ritvi, all the interview rounds are about that only. Like there are
Oh,
no technical questions and nothing like that, right?
absolutely not. This is all about community and your community experience. You do not need to. So, like I said, like even for the eligibility criteria, you do not have to be from a tech background. They do prefer tech
Yeah.
background because sometimes you have to take up technical mentoring. So, if you do have a background, great. And sometimes there's also some content development that you're welcome to do. But apart from that, no. Community is our main focus, and inclusive, safe environments is what we're really focusing on.
Yeah, as MLH is all about community. Okay, great. Okay, so your work or experience as an MLH coach?
Sure. So I'm actually a pretty new coach. This weekend, I'm actually
Okay.
doing the second solo coaching that I've ever done. So it's still new to me, quite honestly. But what I have learned is the community is so there for you. They encourage you to, make mistakes and really, really work on fixing them. So, last week itself, I was coaching a hackathon, and there was a conflict, and I probably didn't do the most right thing. And they were all very cool about it. We went back, we discussed it, and we fixed the solution, we fixed the problem, of course. But they encourage you, they won't make you feel bad about it. And what they do encourage is, so here's what they would suggest, right? If you were in the same position on the other side, how would you react to it? And then you mediate. So this is very particular to a digital hackathon, right? I mean, right now there's no physical aspect. But for a hackathon, physical hackathon, again, I have never been to one just yet, as a coach. But what we ideally would do is we would make sure that everything is smooth. So if the caterers are running late, we'll probably help them. If there's trash, we'll take out the trash. Like I said, so we're really there. We're all over the place, basically.
Okay, so this is about remote work also, right?
Absolutely. So, right, the coaches program. So that's the thing. Another requirement I would say, as an eligibility, is to be able to travel on weekends to hackathons. Of course. So that's a pretty big requirement. As a coach, right now, of course, hackathons are virtual, and hopefully there'll be a couple of hackathons every weekend that'll remain virtual. But yeah, as a eligibility requirement, you should be able to travel on weekends.
Okay, so there is any time period for this program? Like you have to like being a coach till from this month to this month or for a year, like that kind of thing.
Absolutely not. No, once you're onboarded, you're a coach, and you can decide if you don't want to work a month. It's completely, so what happens is we usually fill out our availability in the beginning of the month, and then we're given hackathons. If I'm not available that month, that's perfectly fine. There's no one who's going to come behind you and question why you weren't there or anything like that. But yeah, they expect you to be available at least for a couple of months, every 3 months, at the least, very least.
Okay, so it is a kind of like a MLSA program, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. So see, the thing is, one thing I think we should focus on is the coach program isn't a job, right? It's not a monthly paying job. It's a contract based thing. So like any contract job, you're paid for how much you work. So you can decide how
Yeah.
much you want to work to. There's no minimal requirement as such.
Okay. Cool. So, what are the perks and benefits of this program, being an MLH coach?
So, like I said, right, we build communities and the experience. I always say this, right? Building communities to me is the most rewarding experience I've ever had throughout my college. I'm in my final year right now, so looking back, the most I've learned is through, you know, being a part of community. Any role, that I'm playing as a volunteer, as an organizer, as a lead, the essence of it remains that you're interacting with people from very very diverse backgrounds, and you cannot be presumptuous. You need to be thinking on your feet. You need to be understanding that they don't know probably that they're offending you even in situations you feel offended. So these are small
Yeah.
nuances that you really learn over time. And I think the best perk of being a coach is you're constantly reminded of how amazing the people out there exist, and how you're humbled every minute that you're part of the community. Apart from that, of course, I get paid. So that's there. A little extra money as a student never hurts. So that's there. Yeah, but like I said, the community itself, the recruiting community is awesome, and so is the community that I'm interacting with, right? Because I was picked from that community. And yeah, I mean, so here's a suggestion, right? Here's a advice for everyone watching this is, regardless of you being interested in the coach program, you can always hop on Discord, and you can interact with
Okay.
the coach. Us coaches, we're always up for talking. So if you ever look at the coaches, we're very talkative people. So if you ever want to know more, you can just hop on Discord. We have an active MLHers tag, and you can just hop, start a conversation right there. We're always happy to indulge in one.
Okay, this is the most beautiful suggestion. Okay, so what communities are you part of apart from MLH Coach Program?
Oh, so I'm a serial communist. Okay, like I don't know if that
Okay.
means something else, but like I am part of so many communities, and like I said, right, every time you step into a community, if you just observe silently, even that's enough to humble you and make you realize that there's so much you can do. Uh, MLH, of course, is one of my very, very favorite communities, and I'm always taking out time for them. But apart from that, uh, some communities that I am an integral part of is the IEEE student branch in my college. I lead it, and we try to run it the most open source way possible. We're inclusive, we welcome people. There are barely any restrictions except be respectful. Right, so that's how I run that. Then there is MLSA, the Microsoft Launch Student Ambassador Community, another beautiful community. The perk of that is that you get to interact with Microsoft mentors on a very regular basis,
Yeah.
and again, super humbling experience. Then there is SWE, Society of Women Engineers, another very, very inclusive community. The thing about SWE though is it is more for early professionals and women in engineering already. So if you do get in as a student, you get a lot of insight into what to expect and whom to reach out once you enter the professional world. But yeah, again, great to interact with the people there, because again, any community you enter, you're going to have many insights, and again, you'll always be humbled, right? Because you'll know how much you couldn't imagine. There's so much there that you can't even fathom exists, right? So that's that.
Yeah.
A couple of others that I have just worked with, but I have had a great time working with, is Women Who Code, Facebook Developer Circles, another one of my favorite communities, super active. And I think they completely nailed the virtual transition. I had no clue when we went to, physical to online. It was a very smooth transition. Uh, then there's, of course, Google Developer Groups, DSC, and various others. But yeah, the ones that I mentioned are my top favorite and the ones that I've interacted the most with.
Okay. Great. Okay. As MLH is all about hackathons and community, so can you tell us a little bit about hackathons and why should we participate in the hackathons?
Sure. So let me just go back and let's start with MLH. Right? So MLH started out as hackathons, but MLH today is one of the most intuitive ecosystems that is haven for any technical student. Right,
Yeah,
from fellowships, mentoring, local hack day build and share events, to hackathons,
yeah,
any and every thing that MLH does, if you even participate once, it's great to build yourself overall as a technical member of a team, right? Because team work requires a lot of soft skills, and MLH makes sure that while you're interacting, you build that as well. So MLH to me is the most, obvious ecosystem out there. I mean, when you think about it, you would wonder that MLH should have always existed, right? I mean, there are fellowships, there is workshops, there is hackathons, but it wasn't, right? It's one of its kind. It's the first of its kind, and it's definitely an intuitive ecosystem. Hackathons are the best way to get into any of these ecosystems, right? Any company, any organization requires you to collaborate, requires you to communicate. And hackathons are a great way to showcase not just your technical skills, but the fact that you can work and collaborate. And with
yeah,
digital hackathons, you can even showcase that on a global level, right? You collaborate with people in different time zones, with different technical skills, and you're doing it online. So, yeah, hackathons are a great way, and I think digital hackathons are nothing but a boon to the technical ecosystem.
yeah. Okay, cool. So any additional tips for the students?
Oh, so I this question gets asked a lot when there are first time hackers in the community.
Yeah,
You know, any advice for the first time hackathon or things like that? And I always say this, right? Have fun. The community, as philosophical as I made it sound, it's actually all about having fun, right? Like I said, we're talkative people. We're there to make sure you guys are engaged, having fun, and we talk about. So I last week the theme of our hackathon was Hacky Winterland, and I actually made snowflakes, paper snowflakes, along with the hackers on one of the live streams. So that's how fun the community is. That's how completely relevant the community is, right? We want you to come in, talk, have fun. You don't have to have something that can be sold tomorrow as a product. You need to have fun with what you're learning. So when I started out, what I used to do was I used to make a list of technical skills that I want to indulge in. So one of the things that is completely irrelevant to what I do right now is game development, okay? And I was very intimidated by it. So what I used to do is I used to go to the team formation section. I used to put down my skills. Then I used to say that, I want to do some game development or AI development. And because it's a hackathon, because you're on a deadline, because people are counting on you, it's one of the best ways to accelerate the learning curve, because you're going to sit down and do it no matter what. So if there's any skill that you want to learn, hackathons are a great way to just get into them hardcore in less than 24 hours. So the
yeah,
best thing you can do to yourself is figure out what you want to learn, regardless of what you know, right? There's one thing that you know, but what you want to learn is more important. So figure that out, get into a hackathon, have fun, of course, and just completely hack away that new skill that you want to learn.
yeah. Okay. Any questions from the audience? Audience can ask their questions in the comment section.
I'm going to take that as a compliment. I guess I did a good job explaining everything.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Well, it is 1st January, so if you guys are watching this, thank you so much. It means a lot.
Uh, I think there are no questions from the audience as you have explained so beautifully. So there are no questions from the audience.
That's great. That's great.
Okay, so now I think we have to wrap up the session. So thank you, Ritvi. Thank you so much for attending the live session with us, and thank you so much. It was a
Thank you so
wonderful
much,
session with you.
Mansi. Yeah, thank you so much. It was definitely an honor. I hope to be back soon with something new to talk about because, like I said, I'm a
Sure,
talkative
sure,
person and we talk. So,
sure. We
thank you
will.
so much to everyone who joined in.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.